Hi, I'm glad you're watching this video. I can imagine you're going through a really tough time right now. Because your brother or sister having cancer is of course a massive challenge for your whole family. And for you too. As a sibling, you're actually in a very challenging situation. On one hand, you're probably really worried about your brother or sister and want to be there for your family. But on the other hand, your own life still goes on. That is school, friends, hobbies, and all the other things that come with growing up. Maybe it even feels like you're caught between two worlds. You don't want to be an extra burden on your parents. You want to help as much as possible, so you put your own needs on the back burner. You want to be there for your family and might have to take on more responsibilities. At the same time, you still have that desire to be free and just do your own thing. You might also realize that you need comfort and support yourself and someone to be there for you. And maybe you even just feel it's unfair that this is happening to your family. And maybe you're angry. And of course, being torn like this can feel really, really intense. But it's also completely understandable if that's how you feel. So how do you deal with all of this? And what could possibly help make things feel a little bit easier? Of course, there's no perfect solution or answer. But we have 3 tips for you that have helped many others in your situation or a similar one. Maybe they'll help you too. Okay, first of all, talk to your family. That sounds simple, but is not always done. Even if you feel like you don't want to burden anyone, talk to your parents about how you're feeling. Or just tell them what's too much for you and what you need. Believe me, even if they're struggling themselves right now, it doesn't mean they don't care about what you're going through. You might actually make it much easier for them if you tell them what you need. If you don't say anything, they might think everything is fine. Or they might notice you're not doing well, but they don't know how to help you. You might be wondering why you should even talk about how you're feeling, since no one can change the situation that quickly anyway. But even if there's no easy fix, it can really help not to be alone with your thoughts and feelings. You could also write down your thoughts and feelings first before sharing them to get some clarity. Something like this is great. Grab a notebook or a journal. Just write down everything that's on your mind. A simple piece of paper works too. And if you can't think of anything to write at first, what can help is if you try answering these questions. What's on my mind the most right now? Your worries? What do I want for myself? What are my dreams? Maybe you'll think of some other questions too. Sometimes you only realize while writing, what's really important to you. And then you can also talk to others better about it and stand up for yourself. So, let's move on to tip number 2. Find out what makes you feel good. Maybe things like sports, listening to music, or even something creative like drawing, photography, maybe writing. The main thing is that it's something you do for yourself, and that it gives you something positive. That also means don't just look closely at what's good for you, but also which people are good for you right now. With which friend can you relax and be completely honest about how you're doing? Who can you really laugh with and just have fun with? And with whom can you also show weakness or just rant about things? Sometimes friendships change in special times, like the one you're experiencing right now. And it's totally okay to set boundaries if you notice that someone or something isn't good for you. Think about who you like to talk to and who you'd rather not. Not everyone has experienced a real crisis or pain and knows how it feels. Conversely, you might be surprised right now that some people can understand you very well. People you might not have expected it from. It's worth staying open. And at school too, what do you want the teachers to know? Or what do you want to share in class and what not? That is up to you. So then we're already at tip 3. Ask for help when you need it. Realize that you are not alone. Sometimes we believe that only we are having a hard time. And maybe you're wondering why it's hitting you or your family specifically. And it's probably a really hard time right now. There's no way to sugarcoat it, but you don't have to deal with it all on your own. There are people who are happy to stand by your side. Maybe you know people like that, because you have great friends. Or maybe you also don't know who that's supposed to be. And for that, a great step, or a very good step, is to contact the psychosocial team at the clinic where your brother or sister is being treated. Together, they can help you find out what you need and who might be a good fit for that. If necessary, they can also help you find a suitable psychotherapist. True, as someone with a brother or sister with cancer, you have experiences that many others don't. But believe me, there are many more young people whose brother or sister has cancer or another serious illness than you probably think. And they all face very similar difficulties and problems as you do. And because that's the case, there are also support options, specifically for siblings of children with cancer. For example, sibling retreats, family rehab, or sibling days. It can actually be very easy and helpful to connect with peers who are going through something similar to you, who've had similar experiences. By the way, you can also find out more about family rehab in one of our other videos. We explain what this actually is. Or you can also reach out to the psychosocial team again to get more info about the various support and options available. So, those were the 3 tips on what you can do for yourself when your daily life is turned upside down by your brother's or sister's cancer. What can you take away for yourself from this video? Be kind to yourself and allow this challenging situation to make you feel angry or sad, and know you don't always have to be understanding. Try to figure out what's on your mind the most right now and who you might be able to talk to about it. Try to incorporate things into your daily routine that make you feel good. And use sibling support services or professional help if you understandably feel like you can't manage this exceptional situation on your own. And you can also do something good for your brother or sister and help by continuing to treat them as normally as possible. Just like you always do, chatting with each other, goofing around, even bickering, right? Just normal sibling stuff. Believe me, you're helping your sick brother or sister more with that than you might think.